How do you get over being cheated on and actually stay together? Is it possible? Is it possible to be happy in your relationship again? It is, and I'm going to show you how. I've seen countless couples stay together after infidelity. It is possible to heal after betrayal, but there's important things to understand about the process of healing that has to take place in order for a relationship to work. I'm going to walk you through that process and talk to you about the specific things that you can do in order to make your relationship work again. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. Betrayal, obviously, does not create trust. It does the opposite. And so when betrayal has happened, when you've been cheated on, when there's infidelity, then it shatters that foundation of trust. It's important to understand that the process of healing for a relationship is to start to heal that foundation of trust. And how do you actually heal that foundation of trust? There's 3 recoveries at play here. There's his recovery, there's her recovery, and there's the our recovery, or the relationship recovery. Usually what happens when infidelity has happened, a couple comes into therapy and they say, we need to fix this. The relationship is broken. Something needs to be fixed in the relationship. The reason why they're focused on the our recovery, first off, is because that's where the pain point is. The broken trust has happened, and that's where all the pain is coming out. But if you focus on the our recovery first, it doesn't work. If you try to force connection, try to force intimacy, work on communication in that moment, it doesn't work because that foundation of trust isn't there yet. So you have to stop focusing on the our recovery at first and focus on the his recovery and her recovery. Before I talk to you about what his recovery entails and what her recovery entails, I want you to subscribe to my channel and like this video, so hit that button. Let's first talk about his recovery. So this is about him not focusing on her and not focusing on the relationship, but actually being proactive on his own process of change for himself. And it's important to distinguish that. It's important to understand that in order for him to go from being a person who betrays, a person who creates unsafety in a relationship, he's got to create a shift. And that shift doesn't just happen up here in his head. That shift has to happen in his heart, where he is committed to being a trustworthy husband and partner. In order for that shift to happen, then he's got to experience some things. Some of those things are pain and empathy for the partner, pain and empathy for the pain that he's inflicted in the relationship. He needs to feel some remorse, not shame, but remorse. It's important that he understands that what happened is not okay. It's important that he has internal motivation and that he's proactive in his own recovery. What led him to that affair? How did he end up there? What are the voids in his life that has made him go do that? How is he not communicated effectively? Does he hold resentment? Is that how he justified going to that affair partner? Whatever it is, he needs to dig deep, get down to the root causes of what led him to cheating on you. And he's got to do that on his own and realize that he can heal that root cause so that he doesn't have to act out anymore and he doesn't have to cheat anymore. Addressing the root causes for him is important, and healing the shame underneath, healing the fear underneath is vital in order for him not to act outside of your marriage anymore. Now, while he's healing from his root causes, it's important that you go through your own process of recovery. Now, when it comes to her recovery, she's going through her own process, and it's a little bit different than his. He's discovering what led him to go cheat. He's discovering what are those root causes. Her recovery is about processing pain. It's about grief. It's about coming to some levels of acceptance, really getting to a place of forgiveness, self-discovery. It's about understanding her boundaries and what works for her and what doesn't work for her, and creating safety for herself outside of that relationship. When infidelity has happened, I have news for you. your relationship is over. And what I mean by that is it will never be the same again. It may be a lot better than it was before if both individuals are willing to do their own separate work. Her process of healing is about creating a support system around her, practicing self-care, allowing herself to feel emotions, and learning how to be a more boundaried, healthily attached partner so that she can navigate a relationship where betrayal has happened. The hour recovery actually comes really easy when both partners have done their own work. So when both partners are showing up authentic, honest, they're able to process emotions, they have good support systems all around them, they have coping mechanisms for their emotions, then coming into a couples session and working on the relationship is actually fairly easy because they both have confidence, they're both resilient to their shame, and they don't get defensive. These are the things that need to be there when you start to do the couples work. First and foremost is honesty. There has to be real honesty there in order for you to move forward. Secondly is vulnerability, for both of you to take some risks, to talk openly about who you are and why you're feeling the way that you feel. And with that vulnerability, if your partner's vulnerable or if you're vulnerable, it's important that on the other end of that is empathy, that you learn how to empathize with each other and connect to each other as the other partner is being vulnerable. The last three things are patience, forgiveness, and what we call interdependency. So it's important to be patient in the process of healing. It's going to be up and it's going to be down. Some days are going to be harder than others. You're going to see huge progress, then you're going to feel like you take 2 steps back. Through that process, be patient with your partner and be patient with yourself. Forgiveness is not something that comes automatically. Forgiveness is a process, and don't expect yourself to forgive automatically. Forgiveness doesn't mean also forgetting what happened and just pretending like it didn't happen. Forgiveness is radical acceptance of what happened. It's letting it go in your heart, and that takes a process of processing pain, working through the hard stuff. The last thing that's important for the relationship is interdependency. What that means is you have a healthy sense of attachment in knowing where they stop and you begin. You're able to show up as individuals in the relationship, that you don't need each other to be okay, but you can be okay unto yourself. And when you can do that, then you can really start to love each other and thrive in the relationship. If you found this video helpful about staying in a relationship after you've been betrayed, then you're going to want to check out my other video where I talk about why do we cheat on people that we love.